Rachel, Cameron, and Kyle Anderson, along with their mother Leslie Allen, vanished from Fulton, Mississippi on April 11, 2000. At the time, Rachel was 13, Cameron was 12, and Kyle was 9. They had relocated from Racine, Wisconsin, after Leslie and their father, Jeff Anderson, divorced in 1997. Jeff had legal custody rights and was granted visitation, but the children disappeared before a scheduled visit. The circumstances surrounding their disappearance are unclear. Leslie's roommate reported that she left with a truck driver and left Stephanie and Greg, Leslie's older children from a previous relationship, behind in his care. However, the stories provided by this individual changed over time. A brown 1981 Chevrolet Caprice station wagon, which Leslie was believed to have been driving, was later found abandoned near their residence in Itawamba County. School records revealed that Rachel's last day was April 5, 2000, Kyle's was April 7th, and Cameron's was April 10th. Despite extensive searches and investigations, there has been no contact or evidence of their whereabouts since their disappearance. Bonnie Hyam, a 23-year-old woman from Jacksonville, Florida, disappeared in January 1993. Her remains were discovered in December 2014 by her son, Aaron Fraser, who was 3 years old at the time of her disappearance. Aaron found her body buried in the backyard of their former home while performing renovations. DNA testing confirmed the remains were Bonnie's, and the cause of death was ruled a homicide. In 2015, Bonnie's husband, Michael Hyam, was arrested and charged with her murder. He was convicted of second-degree murder in April 2019 and sentenced to life in prison. The case remained unsolved for over 2 decades, but Aaron's discovery of his mother's remains led to the resolution of the case. Aaron Fraser, who was later adopted by another family, won a wrongful death lawsuit against Michael Hyam, resulting in Aaron gaining ownership of the family home where his mother's body was found. During an appeal, Hyam argued that a statement made by their 3-year-old son to a child protection team after his mother's disappearance should not have been allowed into the trial. Another dispute was that a .22 caliber shell casing found near the remains should have been excluded from the trial and that he should not have received a life sentence. But the panel, in an 11-page opinion, rejected the arguments. It said police had always suspected Hyam in the murder of his wife, whose purse was found in a trash bin at a hotel near Jacksonville International Airport and whose car was found in an airport parking lot. "16-year-old Natasha Jennings was found dead on July 8, 1997, in Carson City, Nevada, while visiting her father, Clarence, from Southern California. She was discovered in a bedroom with an electric fan on her body and damp hair, suggesting she had recently bathed. Traces of cocaine and methamphetamine were found near her nostrils, but toxicology tests revealed no drugs in her system. The medical examiner could not determine a clear cause of death, leaving the case unresolved. Several theories have emerged regarding Natasha's death. Some investigators speculated that Natasha might have overdosed on drugs, leading to hyperthermia. Forensic pathologist Cyril Wecht suggested she may have taken a bath to cool down and died from a spasm while drying herself off. However, Natasha's mother, Tammy Stelton, rejected this theory, asserting that her daughter would not have used drugs. Theory 2 suggests circulated rumors suggested that Natasha had been sexually assaulted by a young man named Chris shortly before her death. However, an autopsy determined there was no evidence of sexual assault. And Theory 3, retaliation against her father. Tammy Stelton was told by a woman that Clarence was a drug informant and that Natasha was murdered in retaliation. Clarence denied being an informant, and the Nevada Division of Investigators found no evidence to support this claim. The investigation into Natasha Jennings' death remains open and unsolved. Despite various theories, no conclusive evidence has emerged to explain her untimely death. The Carson City Sheriff's Office continues to seek information from the public. Rebecca Young was a 21-year-old woman from Belle Glade, Florida, whose tragic death remains unsolved. On April 1991, she was brutally murdered in a sugarcane field near the Twisty Treat ice cream shop. Her body was discovered weeks later, in a state of advanced decomposition, identified through a thumbprint. An anonymous caller, identified only as Antonio, reported witnessing the crime. He described seeing a blue Ford Bronco with 2 men and a woman arguing over money and drugs. The woman, who referred to one man as Ricardito, pleaded for her life before being fatally struck with a machete. The caller noted the license plate contained the numbers 7 and 2 and provided details about the location and the suspect's accents, suggesting they were Cuban and Mexican. Rebecca had been involved with a man known to be a petty criminal, which may have led to her exposure to drugs and prostitution. While he was not a suspect, authorities believed his activities might have contributed to her death. A local man was briefly detained after reportedly confessing to killing a black woman, but was released due to lack of evidence. Despite efforts to locate Antonio for further information, the case remains unsolved. Authorities continue to seek new leads, hoping to bring justice to Rebecca and her family. Zywan Person, a 9-year-old boy from Durham, North Carolina, tragically lost his life on August 18, 2019, when he was mistakenly shot during a gang-related drive-by shooting while riding in a car with his family. The shooting occurred near the intersection of North Duke and Leon Streets, as the family was en route to get snow cones. Zian was struck in the head and died the following day. His 8-year-old cousin, seated next to him, was also injured but survived. The gunman, Antonio Nathaniel Davenport Jr., known as Lil Tony, and Derek Lamont Dixon Jr., were members of the 8-Tray Gangster Crips gang. They opened fire on the vehicle, believing it belonged to rival gang members. Davenport, a local rapper associated with the gang, was wearing a court-ordered ankle monitor at the time due to pending domestic violence charges. In October 2022, both Davenport and Dixon were sentenced to life in prison after being convicted on federal charges, including murder, firearms offenses, and racketeering. A third individual, Dival Magwood, was also involved but did not fire the fatal shots. The case highlighted ongoing concerns about gang violence and its impact on the community. In the year following Zian's death, 33 children were shot in Durham, underscoring the need for continued efforts to address gun violence and gang activity. Zian's family continues to honor his memory and advocate for peace in their community. Timothy Berry Jr., a 15-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky, was tragically shot and killed on October 16, 2024, near the intersection of 3rd and St. Catherine Streets in the Old Louisville neighborhood. He was walking to meet his father when he was fatally shot in what police assume may have been an attempted robbery. Timothy was transported to the hospital, but succumbed to his injuries shortly after arrival. In the wake of his death, Timothy's father, Timothy Berry Sr., has been actively seeking justice. He initially offered a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest, which was later matched by a local business, bringing the total reward to $10,000. The family has distributed flyers in the area and continues to urge anyone with information to come forward. Timothy was remembered as a funny, outgoing, and kind-hearted individual who enjoyed kickboxing, video games, and spending time with friends and family. As of now, the Louisville Metro Police Department, LMPD, has not identified any suspects, and the case remains under investigation.